So we need to do a new document. The first thing we want to get is what?
List and spreadsheet.
List and spreadsheet. So list and spreadsheet is what we're going to do. Now what do I do? Letter A, we're going to type in year. So Y, E, A, A-R. And hit enter. Now, I'm going to come down here to row 1. Do I enter anything in the gray?
No.
Why? Because what's in the gray? Equations and formulas. So I'm going to go ahead and here, and what am I going to type in for the first one? Y0. Sierra? Because it says that T is equal to 0. Because T represents your 1970. Now, why did I move it down to T equaling 0 being 1970? You want it as close to the origin as you can possibly get it, because that way we're all in quadrant 1 and it's nice and tight, and we can see what's going on. If you want to deal with millions and thousands and billions, no, we don't want to do that. So therefore, we want to keep this nice and small. So it's going to be 0. What's my next one?
5.
5. Next one?
10.
Next?
50.
20, 25, and 30. Okay, how do I get to the back of my, top of my data? Control 7. How many of you liked listening to that yesterday? Was it easier listening to that and working on it like that?
Kind of, but I want 10
Yeah.
Well, I was glad that was recorded since you guys could pause it, right?
We only have one period.
I actually had to go home.
I actually have you to listen to the instructions and actually do that. Now, I need to come over here to letter B, and what do I label that to be? Stations.
How do you delete a page?
I did that. I actually took the time to go home, finish the video, and answer the question.
You rock.
Okay.
Okay, the question was, how do you delete a page?
Yeah, like I actually put it on one.
Okay, what you can do is hit Control up arrow. Control up arrow will land on all of your slides. It's just like a PowerPoint presentation. Land on the slide that you want to delete, and press the delete key. You with me? Okay. Now, we need to now enter in the data for stations. And what's that going to be?
Just keep on back.
Third period, it took me like 5 tries to get this right. Not even lying. My board is so off today. Now, after you enter in the data, what are the 2 things I always want you to do? Check to make sure the dimensions are equal, and then check to make sure your what? Your data is entered incorrectly. Because if you're just entering it incorrectly, you're not going to get the right regression model, which means you're not going to have the right predictions. Do you understand that? Okay, so now I'm going to check my data. And I'm good. Okay, so now I have my data. Now how do I get a scatter plot? Because step 1 says complete a scatter plot and track data of the above information, letting t equal 0 for the year 1970. Does the graph of the information appear to be linear? So how do I do this? Control Doc to add a new page. And there were 2 methods that I showed you how to do this. Control Z. Now I showed you 2 methods. I'm going to put them both in here. You may use whichever one you prefer. I'm going to tell you right now which one is the better one. The better method is using the graphs page, not the data and statistics. But I'm going to show you data and statistics just because I'd love to see the balls. They're so much fun to me. I like to see the little scatter plots too.
That's
Nice.
better. That's a lot better.
I click on my x-axis and what do I want it to be? See, there's so much here. Yeah. There, look, the little dots moved. How did I do that? I hit this to be year and automatically arranged them according to the x coordinate. It is very cool, isn't it? Then I come over here and I'm going to find that box by clicking on the left-hand side. And what do I want my Y values to be? Station. I love that. It never gets old.
Does not look like that.
Your face is so creeper.
I don't know why.
I'm gonna get mad. I just got called.
Yeah, I double check.
Shut up.
Just shut up.
You're losing it.
You did not put your data in the way it was supposed to. What did you put for your year?
I did change it.
Okay, welcome back to second grade.
You have 70, 75, 80, 85, 90.
I like that.
And
I thought we were supposed to
and
see
it's
the-
non-matching.
Sure.
See that? That's
I can
exactly
tell.
what we're talking about. Okay? So now I have my data. Now what did I like about this? Some of you put in here that it was really cool that you can have a movable line and you can actually put your own trend line in there and see that. It is really cool that you can put a movable line in there. Okay? I like that. It allows you to be able to say, okay, I'm going to pick a trend line, actions,
How do you do that? I forget.
Wait, hold on.
analyze, go into menu, analyze, and then you can put in here a movable line.
Yeah, move on.
It's not allowing me to do it.
I found it. I really have to figure out how to use that movable line.
There's my movable line. Now, I'm not actually going to do that right now. Okay? I don't care about the movable line today. Pause button, please. Where's that? On the screen. Really? You
I don't know.
Wow.
It's not showing up. Oh, there it is. I found it. I found it. Wait, she was touching that thing. So.
Okay. Okay, now everyone is here. Now I want to do another scatter plot, but this time in the other method. So I want everybody to add a page, so Control Doc. And what do I want to add this time? A graph page, because I want to see it on my XY axis. However, I need to graph this, and what does it come up with down here at the bottom? A function. Do I want to graph a function, or do I want to graph a scatter plot?
Yep.
So how do I change that?
And then you graph it.
Menu, mine says graph type, yours says graph edit, and you want it to be scatter plot. Now what is S going to be? What is the X going to be?
Year.
Year. What's the other one going to be? Notice how they bold. When they bold, that means that you have a list named that. And hit enter. Why, oh why can I not see it? It's not in my range of my window, so I need to hit menu, window zoom,
Wait, how do you change this thing?
and do zoom data.
Menu.
Menu, window zoom, zoom data.
Um,
You good?
I spent
We good?
one screen right now.
Look good?
That's perfect. That's beautiful. Good? Okay.
Alright.
Does it look like mine? Yep, we're good. Okay, so now my question to you is, does the graph of the information appear to be linear? Yes, so on A, right, yes. Letter B, it says by looking at the scatter plot, what type of correlation does this information have, in your opinion? Positive, strong, weak, what? Looks like it's going to be a strong positive, so write down there, strong positive. Understanding that's my calculator, you're even on the level a little bit.
What's that?
Now, letter C, it says find linear regression. So how do I go about doing this? I need to add a new page. What kind of page do I need to add? A calculator page, because I want to calculate my lovely regression. So how do I do that? When in doubt, what key should you always hit?
Menu.
Menu. Just look in there every once in a while. Just like whenever you're doing stuff. You're not certain, keep looking at it and say, where should I end up at?
Statistic.
Dot graph it is when you dot graph it. Okay? But if you're clueless on what to do when you're staring at a page, go to menu and see what can help you there. So what do you think I want to do? I want to do statistics because that's what regression is all about. Regression is plotting things and being able to do predictions in the future. Now what do I want?
Or no.
Stat calculations. And now add stat calculations.
3.
3mx plus b. Okay, now this comes up with this lovely little table. What do I want my x list to be?
Year.
I want my x list to be year. What do I want my y list to be?
Station.
Stations. And where do I want to store it at? In F1.
You can arrow where you want to check it out. That's so easy. Okay.
Yep. Now, what you want to do is you want to save this into F1. Let's say you have a function in F1 that you don't want it to delete it. So if you change where you want it to be stored, yes, you can arrow to the right. You can store it in any one that you want. Now, all you're going to do is hit OK. Now, this gives you your lovely little regression model. You have M, you have B, and you can plug it into your formula. Now, what do I really like off of this page? You're going to see something in a minute that will. What do I need off this page? I need my R value. So I want your brain to scroll down on this little page, and I want you to read letter D. It says, what is your R value? What is my R value there? 0.99445. 4. According to the R value, what type of correlation do you have? A strong positive correlation. Were you right whenever you looked at it by the scatter plot? Yes, you were. Now, we still haven't filled out letter C. So what do I write in letter C?
How do you know from the value of R?
Because you want it to be as close to 1 as you possibly can. Is 0.99 close to 1? It is, so therefore it's a strong positive. If it was 0.9, 0.8, is that going to be very strong? Yeah. Does that make sense? Okay. So now, I need to go back to my graph page. Which one is my graph page? 1.3. So here's my graph page. Why can I not see my regression model up there? Because I haven't graphed it. It's in there, but I haven't graphed it. And where did I store it in? So if I hit tab, do you see it puts me to S2? What does S2 stand for? Scatter plot 2. Do I want a scatter plot? No, I want a function. So I need to go back to menu, and what am I looking at? Graph entry, according to your guys's. And then I need to have a function. Okay? Why does it put me to F2? I'm sorry? No. Because it's saved in F1. How do I get there? You arrow up. You might have to zoom data to see it again. Okay. So now I'm going to arrow up and I'm going to press enter. For those of you who don't know what to write on your letter C, there's your function right down here. 209.257 x plus 76733.85. Can we see that? There's your function. No, you can do it to the 100 place or the 100,000.
We just write without those.
Now, if you hit enter, this is what you're going to get. This is not a nice number. Because what you actually have there is 209x plus 6.73e to the third. What in the world does that mean? It is scientific notation, which means 6.73 times 10 to the third. That e means it's exponential notation there. So I'm going to move to the right 3 places. Okay? You understand that? That's why I say if you want to just go straight off of F1, you can hit the tab. then you can see exactly what it is. You can copy that one. That would be much more accurate what you're going to have up there because it's going to be rounded. Okay? Do we all understand that? Yes, for letter C. So now I have my regression model. Now the last question says, what is the prediction for the number of radio stations in 2015? How do I do that? I go back to my table. Okay, if I go back to my data, is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, my data would be 2015, but this 0 represents 1970. Is that on my table?
45.
It's not. It's going to be year 45, and my years only go to where?
30.
My years only go down to 30. So is it on my data? It's not. So I need to figure out a way that I can get it on my data. Okay, so I can do this 2 ways. Are we all watching? Actually 3. I'm going to show you all 3 ways. You can hit Menu, Trace, Graph Trace. Now I showed you this yesterday. When you hit Menu, Trace, Graph Trace, do you see what's at the bottom right-hand corner? It tells you what function you're on. And what am I on? I'm on scatter plot. Do I want to do scatter plot? No, I want to be on my function. So you can either arrow up or down. And if I arrow up, now I'm on F1, and then I can simply type in 45. Now, Booker, why did you tell me to do 45?
Zero is 1970.
Since year 0 represents 1970, 15, T being 15, would represent the year 2015. Okay, year 45, sorry. Year 45, T equaling 45, would represent the year 2015. Do we all understand that, yes or no? Okay, so now I'm going to get this right here. Is this very nice notation for you? No, so how can I get it so it's nice notation? I can hit Control T. Do you see the Control T? It brings up my XY table. How can I change the way the look of the table is? In other words, how can I change where it starts and where it ends? How about you hit Menu, and I can go to Table, and I can do Edit Table Settings. And where do I want this table to start at? 45. Did I have to do this? No. Then I get my number really easy. I could just arrow down until I get to x equals 45, couldn't I? Right? Okay, that's one way using the table. But now I want you to go back to your calculator page. If you go back to your calculator page where you did your regression model, where did I store my regression model at? In F1. Since I stored it in F1, I can actually do an evaluation at F1. So F1, what happened whenever I hit F1? It bolded. What does that bolded mean? Then I'm using the function that's inside F1. And then I hit parentheses and type in 45. So now what am I telling it to do? Function notation is usually f of x, right? I'm telling it to do f at what? 45. And hit enter. How easy is that? It's a lot easier than doing any of the graph stuff, correct? Do we all understand that, yes or no? Now, that's if they're asking for a specific year. Now, I want you to turn your paper over to problem number 2. Problem number 2 says, the very end, letter E says, use the model to find the year in which the number of target stores will exceed 1,800. What is that 1,800 representing?
Y.
It's representing the Y value, which means they're asking for X. In this example, I gave you X, meaning the year, and I wanted you to give me the output, the range, or the Y, correct? So I have to, in this case, use the XY table, don't I? Because I have to scan through all those Y values, and I can actually keep on going down here. And what year would it be that I got 1,800? It would be, well, it'd be way before that because that's 18,000, but we're just saying in this other example. It would be 54, you have to find the year or whatever that you want to do, okay? But I just wanted to give you guys some information on that. So the rest of the period, You guys can work on this. This is all you have. You have 2 problems to complete on your own. Any questions over what I just said? What if you don't get it done in class today? And you don't have a calculator of your own?
Lunch.
I will give you about 7 minutes on Monday to finish it. So you need to at least get 1 problem done today. Any questions over what I just said? Okay, the rest of the time is yours.